work together. They know us. They know that, okay, so what are they going to do? The future, their children, their lives, their wives, their everything depends now on what they do now. So, are you going to trust boss man? Is anybody going to trust boss man to design their future? What has he done already? He's a murderer, he's a slaughter. Look, and he ain't getting no better. He's getting worse every day. It's not just Palestine or Latin America or here or there. It's everywhere. And boss man, his behavior is getting worse by the day. The Quran says if Allah didn't check one group of people by means of another, there would be much turmoil and oppression. What does that mean? That means we got to put a stop to it. Not from anger or, look, even we appealing to people in the system itself, yeah. Like when we go to court in California, we're not going to try to prove nothing at court, oh, we didn't do this, we don't do that. The first thing we're going to tell the jury, we're here to recruit you. Now that was before this fitness started. But we're there to recruit those people to do something good in this world. That's what we're there for. Okay, now we have a record of making that attempt. Now, a lot of people might say one thing or another, but you cannot just survive a frontal attack by the United States government and be no weakling or no sweetie pie. You can't do it. And you could get lucky one attack or two attacks, but you cannot get lucky. Something happens over and over again, you're not lucky, right? That means you got planning, you got discipline, you got vision, you got all of those things. Those are the things that we're talking about. The ethics of today, or the ethics of the stage to come, will be the ethics that we want to implement. Without ethics, without morality, without an element of spirituality, the world is basically doomed. And we cannot depend on old dumb boss man. Boss man has the same makeup as people have for thousands of years. Can you imagine? The human history is a history of hacking arms off with knives and swords and axes. That's what they've been doing. That's what they've been doing. And now with bullets and bombs, they'll have machines to zap you in a couple more weeks, right? Just zap you. The new world is upon us. It's here right now. And what we're doing, let's get to the point. We're reaching out to all the people that's been involved here. Let's get together and do something about it. Let's get together. People might say, well, do it yourself. You ever heard of anybody fixing the world all by themselves? Allah can. But ain't no nigga can do it. The nigga need help. You have to be realistic. Now imagine, hey man, just visualize this. Talk to y'all brothers out there that's been a part of this big old boondoggle y'all been a part of. Hey man, why don't you join the brother? You join the brother. Now, I'm not a politician, but just imagine, you ain't seen me get weak on no cutie pie. You ain't seen me steal no money. You ain't seen me run off with nothing. You ain't seen me do nothing unethical out of all of these years. care whether you've been around 30 years or some even almost 40 years, you haven't seen nothing unethical. Therefore, let's do it together. I don't care what, you can call us whatever you want. Justice League, the Freedom League, Now, if you want to do something, see, they got all these superheroes. Let's go it that way. Why don't we become Negro superheroes? Yes. See, you don't believe you can do it, do you? Tell the truth. You don't think Negroes can be superheroes. Only just white folks or a few handkerchief-headed Negroes that they put in their movies. But I'm talking about real superheroes. Let's affect the world in a positive manner now, because we believe Allah has given us an opportunity to influence the society right now. That's what we're talking about today. If you want to know, we went through all the other stuff. Let's write ourselves into history. Write ourselves into history. You look at all the people that have worked against us. Where are they at now? We've got the United States government against us, the FBI, the CIA, Homeland Security, the OPD. And what have they done? Nothing. It's almost, and we can't claim no credit, but we've Negroized it. We done made it a Negro version of societal transformation. That's what we've done. We've made it. And that's what we're going to do in the future. Now, this is our plan. That we get organized and we get busy and we use the ethics of Islam and human history, the ethics of good, that's what we call it. The ethics of anything we do to further our goals cannot harm specifically any other people. That's the criterion we use. In other words, they say people get ahead by stepping over others. Well, we don't want to accomplish our goals and our process by stepping on nobody. We're going to lift everybody up. I listened to the radio yesterday. There was a guy named Bert Ehrman or something like that. He wrote a book called Heaven, Hell, and the History of the Afterlife. And he said, he was talking about the end of time and all of that. He said, well, the people have made predictions about the end of time, and it never came. And then he got to talking about Revelations, same thing we use. But he was misquoting. I believe he was pointing exactly at what we was talking about. But he was trying to give it in there. We was not talking about the end of time in Revelation. We was talking about the end of empires, remember? We said that the book of John, the writings of John in Revelation was written by Christians in the first century of Islam, or the first 2 centuries, but it was related to Babylon. They was using Babylon, but they was talking about Rome. Does anybody remember that? Yeah. That we was talking about, the Christians, was using Babylon, right, as a prototype, but they was really talking about the decline of the Roman Empire, you see. So we've never talked about this is the end of time. No, this is a transformation in the time that we're living. Nobody knows when this stuff gonna finish up, right? We want to live in a better world while we're still here, so we'll have a chance on the day of judgment. That's what we're working toward. So this guy pops up with his little book, and he used all the stuff we talked about. He talked about the great fires in California, right? He talked about the historical floods down. He talked about everything we talked about. So somebody piped him in to him to sound kind of like we did, but to try to smash what we were saying. But it wasn't right what he was saying. Yes, we mentioned the fires. We mentioned the floods. We mentioned all that, but we mentioned it as signs, right? As ayats. And that you have to pay attention to those signs. Not that the end of the world is coming. We've never, think about it, we've never used that terminology. The end of the world. Why? Because the Quran tells us you don't know, no, the end of nothing is coming. Right? You just don't know. But we've talked about the world in this transformation. We've talked about the earth we're living in being real and natural. It's alive. So we've talked about the earth defending itself from the human being. The earth is defending itself. The earth is populated by crackpots and people that refuse to listen or look at signs. They even use the oceans full of plastic. They used all of that. But we use that as signs. Because see, the Quran talks about ayatullah, the signs of Allah. Right? That's what it is. So, okay. We talked about the concentration of wealth. Right now, they're planning this go round. If we don't influence the direction of change, this system, these people, will take the wealth and concentrate it in so much that it'll be 1 or 2, 3, 4 big firms in the world. They'll run everything. It's already narrow. When they talk about communism, the concentration of wealth and the concentration of resources. This is not, they do concentrate. You get bigger and bigger. I know when I was in Oakland and we was getting bigger and bigger, pretty soon we was concentrating the wealth and distributing the wealth. That's why the police said we got to get rid of them niggas. Why they say they have to get rid of us? Because they thought if they let us sell what we were selling and get involved, we're going to become low-life Negroes like everybody else. But we didn't do that. We started off as black nationalists, and what we did was, when we got rich, can you imagine? You sitting there, you kind of lonesome. This is basically what happened. Oh. Where's all of the friends? You know, when you're young here. Well, they got to be at work because they don't have no money. So we say we make it possible for everybody to get money. That way we can free up our friends to have a good time. That's what you're young, so you think like that, And the police, when they saw that, after a few years, they said, them niggas that made it possible for everybody in Oakland to get money. We thought if we let them get all that money, they're going to become arrogant and proud and low down like other niggas. They gave it to the wrong person. Me. I'm telling you, they did. All the other people would have gotten just like that, and we had a few months of taste of that. When you're arrogant, yeah, big nigga now, little poor niggas, running around. Nigga, you look poor, anything stupid. Then you realize, wait just a minute. Right? Allah rescue you from your own self. The same thing the white man said. What is it if you gain the whole world and lose your soul? Oh, I remember it from somewhere I wrote it. Allah, when you get hooked up with Allah, you ain't got no problems from then on. And that's the way we feel. We feel, that's why you won't be scared of nobody. Who are you talking about? Ain't nobody asking for you nothing for Mr. Peckerwood. What, you try to take everything we got? You wrote us something about the papers being over here and this. Everybody know that's stupid stuff. Yeah, man. But they do it. Yeah. And they leave, people tear all the stuff off the roof, right? And they just leave the stuff there. They know what's gonna, sooner or later it's gonna happen. And we're gonna pick it up. We're gonna pick it up next week or week after when we're gonna get our dumpster, right? And the police said that we write something on them before they get to it. We've been doing that. Hey man, that's been happening so long. It's almost a joke. It's a joke. Over the years, you get immunized against that type of thing. And that's what's happened. This is immunization. And the other thing it is, it's a freedom. It's a type of freedom. Just like getting rich, and you want everybody to get rich so they know how it feels to get rich. Because it's kind of freedom. The same thing about freedom and liberation. And it's just like tasting foods and going into a big thing with a little taste, a little of this, that. Once you taste freedom, you taste a little bit of that. You say, oh, there's somebody trying to give you something else. You say, I don't want that. You don't know, when you get a chance to taste, right, the different things on that spread, you say, oh no, this is freedom here, and I don't want that. It's just like when you get good cocaine. Yeah, excuse me for using that. When you get good blows, somebody bring you some of that old stuff that they done put procaine in and all that other old garbage, and you frown up, I don't want none of that. I don't want none of that. The only thing I want is this, that. You don't want nothing else. It's the same thing with food, with freedom, justice, truth. Once you get a taste of truth and you get a chance to digest it, hey man, you don't want nothing else. You just don't want it. And you're not going to put up, I'm not chewing on that stuff. I don't want it. That's the way we could all travel in that arena. That's what we're offering the community. Let's try it. Why not? Let's try it. Sure, you could get killed or run over by a truck. The white man's not the friendliest guy in town. You know what I mean? He's scared of that too. You'll be scared at first. But you got to remember the unit, the team. Man, you get a team that's playing in time and in tune, and this may be our time too. You got to remember, this may be our time right now. Okay, I feel it's our time. Other people may have to get a little training in that. But this is our time to write ourselves in history. And you got to remember, they've been trying to write us out. You don't see us in nothing. We don't appear on no programs. They don't do that. That comes from an old custom. Anybody ever see the Ten Commandments? Ten Commandments, think about it. The one with Charleston Heston. Now remember, when Hugh Brenner then got old time Pharaoh, he ready to die, and then they did the thing on Musa alayhi salam, And he said, strike all the names of Moses from every iblis, from every pylon, get his name off everything. Right? Remember, that's what he said. And then he says, so it shall be written, so it shall be done. In other words, same thing the people here that ain't working. Get Musa's name off everything. No programs, no flyers, nothing. Right? We ain't going for that. They ain't got no power to say. They're nice people, but they're basically sissies. Those people run organizations. What are they doing? They have all that power. What more power would they have to have? If they can have programs with 50,000 people coming and they don't say nothing, what's the sense of having all of that? Right? If they can, and each collect a lot of money. You don't know how much it is because people be giving from their heart to eat. If we can collect a few $1,000s, imagine what they're collecting out there in those boxes full of money. Full of money, it's full of money. Hey, this is a time for us to write our own self into history. We've been talking about it, but we didn't know how it would come. And that's the beautiful thing about all of this. All of this stuff has been written and planned and discussed, and from out of the woodwork, from over here, from everywhere, Allah got us still here. Amen. After almost 50 years, after over 40 years of Islam, we're still here, non-paranoid and actually happy. You ain't never, I'm just saying, you ain't never seen me come in here, oh man, the white man did this, the white man did that, and I'm sad. The only thing you ever heard was optimism and hope. Nothing else. Why? Why? It's simple. Allah hook you up with contentment with what you're doing. You're not on no schedule like, I have to have $50 zillion or I'm going to be unhappy. That ain't what Allah had hooked you up with. Allah hooked you up with the mission. You do that, you're contented. And you can't get nothing better than content. I don't care. You can see all the super rich people. They dope fiends and they crazy. They exploiting some little girl somewhere.